Hi guys, James at Rampant Lion Reviews again for you today with another beer review. For this one we are going to return to my other local craft brewery here in Clackmannanshire in Scotland, and we're going to go to Alloa this time and revisit Williams Brothers Brewing Company, and today we're having a taste of their Hipsway, which is a 4.2% lager beer made with New Zealand and Slovenian hops, and it's infused with strawberries as well, so it should be quite interesting. This one was produced back in 2013 for one of the beer festivals over here in Scotland actually, and it proved quite popular, so they kept it on as a regular brewed beer, so should be quite nice. I always recommend Williams Brothers to those of you who like kind of nice light sessionable sort of golden ale styles of beers. That's where Williams Brothers really shine. Two of my favourite beers from these guys of course are Caesar Augustus and also the Pavlov's Dog. Pavlov's Dog is one that I really quite enjoy, so make sure you check these guys out if that's something that you would be interested in. But anyway, as is usual with my reviews, I'll tell you a little bit about the brewery. If you do want to get straight to the tasting, just fast forward. All the usual links are in the description below. That's the brewery website, the link to my future reviews and my other Williams Brothers reviews that I've done. There's all the usual social media, make sure you check that out. If you want to see more beer reviews, do subscribe to the channel, and as always, please do get in touch with your recommendations of beers that you would like to see me review. Always interesting to hear from you guys, of course, that are watching the channel. So anyway, to tell you a little bit about Williams Brothers Brewing Company. So these guys started off as the family-owned Glenbrew home brewing store over in Glasgow, and their first ale was inspired by a 17th century Gaelic recipe for Freya Heather Ale, which is of course named after the Celtic mythological hero. So basically in 1988 a woman of Gaelic descent came into the brew shop with a translation of this recipe and wanted to create a batch of this beer to share with her family. So Bruce actually agreed that he would make this beer for her on the condition that he could use it commercially, and I think there's now an agreement basically where this family can get as much of the beer as they want. So it worked out quite well for the family in the end, and for Williams Brothers of course. But the first small batch of this was only 5 barrels, and it was produced over in Taynoak railway station in Argyll and Bute, and the following year the demand had increased massively. So from this point on, this was where Williams Brothers really started to move into commercial brewing. So Scott Williams actually joined his brother Bruce at this point, and they began to develop other historic recipes such as the gooseberry ale, which is called Groatsit. They've got the Kelpie, I think, which is the seaweed ale, Ebaloon, which is the elderberry one, and they also have the Alba Scots Pine Ale, which is supposed to be really nice. That's one that I still need to try. But these 4 recipes were developed at the Craigmill Brewery in Straven between 1998 and 2004. In 2004, Williams Brothers relocated to their new brewery on their current base at the 4th Brewery in Kellybank in Alloa, just down next to the Glassworks actually, and this was when they adopted the company name Williams Brothers. They were previously called Heather Ales, if I'm not mistaken, but since they've moved there, they've developed maybe 30, 40, 50 new recipes. They're a very prolific craft brewery in fact, and it's actually regarded as one of the kind of up and coming and probably one of the best craft breweries in Scotland actually. But oddly enough, they're actually the last brewery in the old brewing capital of Scotland. Clackmannanshire of course is very well known for having the whisky bonds, and Alloa used to be a bit of a brewing hub, but now it is only Williams Brothers there, and you do of course have Harveston over in Alva as well. So it's a bit of a shame to see that kind of heritage go away, but it's good to see breweries like Williams Brothers actually keeping it out. But if you want to see the other beers you can get from these guys, you can check out my reviews of course, and you can check out the brewery website where all of them are listed. As I say, Williams Brothers are particularly good when it comes to sort of light golden session ale things. This is where Williams Brothers really shine. So let's actually get on to the tasting of this beer itself. So as I mentioned to you, this one is a 4.2% strawberry lager beer. So it's hopped with First Gold, Cascade, Simcoe and Citra according to the website, and it has a malt base of malted wheat, Vienna malts, pale rye, pale crystal and lager malts, and as you may have guessed, there's some strawberries added to the brew in this one too. So I'll just bring up the camera and let you have a little look at the artwork on this one before we open it up. There you can see it's a kind of almost like 1970s, 1980s sort of thing going on in this one. It actually is really nicely presented. This one, like I say, was produced for one of the beer festivals back in 2013, and it proved really popular, so they decided to keep it on. But it looks very, very nice, as you can see. Nice golden and red. There's one of the usual Williams Brothers bottle caps on this one, the kind of Celtic symbol there, which of course is also on the bottle there. But it looks very, very nice. So let's get this guy out and we'll get on with the tasting. There it actually says on the back here, a great Glasgow band and a great name for a beer. Aromatic New Zealand and Slovenian hops are blended with an eclectic mix of light malts, cold conditioned on an infusion of cone hops, and mixed with freshly pressed strawberries. So yeah, should be pretty nice. I didn't realise the Hipsway were actually a Glasgow band, so maybe I need to read a bit more into some of the Williams Brothers beer names. But yeah, as I say, Pavlov's Dog and Caesar Augustus are two of my favourites. I also tried Perfect Storm and Golden Ratio recently, which are some other nice golden session ales from these guys, and they never disappoint. They're always a little bit different in their own regard, but they are just nice, light, kind of fruity, flavourable, sessionable beers. I always enjoy a nice Williams Brothers beer, so let's have a look at this one and see how we get on. So as you would expect with this being a lager beer, it's poured a pretty kind of, as you would expect, pale golden straw colour. It looks really, really nice actually. If I put my fingers behind that, you can see it is transparent, and the head has actually just faded away to be a very thin, kind of bumpy head. Pardon me. But yeah, it looks really, really nice. Some big bubbles heading up towards the bottom of the head there, but quite a few of them sticking towards the side of the glass too. But overall, as you would expect, it looks just like you would think of a lager beer. So let's have a look at this one and see how we get on with the aroma. So yeah, it smells like a lager beer as well. You know, you've got the kind of almost corny, biscuity, malty notes in this one. There's a bit of thicker bread in there, probably from the Vienna malts, I would say. There's maybe a little bit of richer caramel too, but I'd say mainly biscuity, grainy, sort of bready thing going on in there. And you can smell those Slovenian hops that are in this one. I'm guessing it's probably New Zealand grown Citra and Cascade they've used in this one, because it said there it was Cascade and Citra, so probably the New Zealand versions rather than the American versions. But yeah, you're getting the nice sort of, yeah, the nice kind of grassy, almost floral character coming out of this one. There is a little bit of the citrusy character that you'd expect, a little, maybe a tiny little bit of tropical fruit that you would expect from the Citra in there. But you can pick up these juicy strawberries as well. One of the things with the Williams Brothers beers is that their aromas are always quite subtle. You're not going to get a big nose out of these, but the flavour can be quite complex in some cases. It's nice and light and drinkable, but at the same time there's a good few dimensions to the beer itself. So always pay attention to that when you try these beers. But yeah, enjoy the aroma a little bit before you get stuck in, but we're going to have a go with this beer now. So this is the Hipsway, a 4.2% strawberry lager beer from Williams Brothers Brewing Company in Alloa, Clackmannanshire, Scotland. Slàinte. That is pretty interesting. It comes in just like a normal lager, then all of a sudden you get this almost kind of strawberry, pardon me, Ribena flavour. It just kind of comes in and pushes its way into the middle of your tongue. Those of you watching outside of Scotland or the UK, I guess, maybe don't know what Ribena is. Ribena is one of these kind of kids, the sort of carton drinks that you get and you put the little straw in. This tastes like the strawberry Ribena, in fact, this beer. Yeah, I'd stick with that. You know, it starts off like a beer and then it actually goes into juice. And then it becomes a beer again. It's really interesting actually. I'd love to try this on tap just with a bit of thicker mouthfeel, or maybe on the kegs where it doesn't have the carbonation. It would be really interesting to try it like that. But yeah, that's a pretty nice beer. You know, this one's actually lighter and a bit less complex in some of the flavours than the other Williams Brothers ones I've had before. So in the middle of your palate you've just got that kind of pale malt that goes right across the middle of your palate there. On top of that there's a little bit of biscuity sweetness and some grainy characters, but not too much complexity to it at all. Pale malt, little bit of grainy biscuit. And yeah, there is a good bit of hoppiness there too. You can get some earthy character, just very slight actually. You get some earthy character in the back corners of the palate, and as you move further forward it becomes a little bit more floral and grassy. The floral character in this one is quite light. It's not dark and almost piney like you get from some of the American hops. It is just nice and light. Around the front curve of the tongue it does get a little bit drier too. And if you go just behind the front curve of the palate as well, you'll get a little bit of that almost lemony citrus character that you would expect from these hops. There is perhaps a little bit of kind of juicy tropical fruit, the sort of mangoes or gooseberries or something like that that you would expect from the Citra hop. But that mixes quite well with the sort of strawberry juice that you're getting in this one. Pardon me, got a little bit of a dry cough today actually. But with this one, you can also get a little bit from that Citra character mixes quite well with the strawberry juice. So when you add fruit to a brew, you can always feel that the edge of the palate is a lot wetter. It always feels nice and juicy, whereas if you get the fruitiness from the oils that come out of the hops, then you can always detect it just behind the front curve of the tongue. But it's very, very nice. Yeah, in terms of a lager beer, this one is pretty unusual. I've never had a strawberry flavoured lager, but they pull it off quite well in this one. The Citra is an excellent hop, I guess, to mix with the strawberry flavours in this one, just because of all that kind of nice, light, tropical, juicy character that it can give you. It goes really well. But this one, the flavour in this one really reminds me of the strawberry Ribena that I used to drink when I was young, and also of a little bit of these kind of Haribo, the hearts in the Haribo Star Mix. So the flavour of this beer reminds me a lot of that. So if you enjoy these sort of things, then this is a beer that you're going to enjoy. So yeah, in terms of the mouthfeel of this one, I'd say definitely light-bodied. Very, very light beer this. The carbonation is actually quite kind of zesty on this one, I would say. It does come in and really gives you a little bit of a prickle. It's quite active. Maybe it could do with being a little bit lighter. If you want to focus on the strawberry characteristics of the beer a bit more, it could be nice. But that said, this beer may be available on the old casks that you get here in Scotland, which means it doesn't have the same carbonation. I think this beer would suit that method, maybe a little bit better than the bottle, but even in the bottle, it is quite nice. But yeah, you know, in terms of a lager beer, it's pretty good. It's got a little bit of malty sweetness. You are getting some of the nice dry hoppy character, and it's the juicy fruit that really kind of stands out in this one. The lingering flavours in this beer, of course, are the strawberries and that sort of floral aromatic character, and a little bit of the grains in the middle of the palate too. But overall, it's another very, very solid kind of sessionable beer from Williams Brothers, which is exactly what these guys kind of specialise in. So yeah, another really good beer from Williams Brothers that I certainly wouldn't hesitate to drink again. As I say, I'd love to try it on tap. The question, I guess, pardon me, the question, I guess, for me on this one is, does it top Pavlov's Dog or Caesar Augustus, which are my favourite beers? I wouldn't say it does that for me, but that again is just personal preference. All of these beers are very different within their own right, different hops, different malts and things like that, but I would stick with my fact that Caesar Augustus and Pavlov's Dog probably are my favourite from Williams Brothers. But if you like strawberry flavours, then I'm sure you'll enjoy this one. So yeah, pardon me again, God's sake. So as always, thank you for watching my beer reviews. Until the next time, please like, subscribe, share, all the usual YouTube stuff. Make sure you check out all the social media in the description below. And make sure you check out Williams Brothers. These guys have some really, really nice light sessionable beers, like I said. So make sure you check them out. And I would recommend Pavlov's Dog and Caesar Augustus in particular. Freyach, of course, is a very nice sessionable beer too. And Paradigm Shift, if you can come across it, is one of my favourites that these guys have done. So until the next time, it's Slangy just now. Make sure you check out Williams Brothers. Those of you watching outside of the UK, of course, can probably find a lot of these beers. But Slangy just now, and I will catch you soon. We will return to Williams Brothers in the future, I'm sure. Slanja.